All right, today, guys, we're here with you with both Mrs. Golata and Mrs. Anglade. Mrs. Golata had to be out a few days, so she is joining me, and so this is her first video, so kind of take it easy on her. So,
yes,
you
please.
know, we're kind of helping out. So we're going to kind of see how it goes with both of us today, but you can see that we're going to be multiplying by powers of 10. So you see the note that it says, have out your math composition book and set up your table of contents now. With your title above. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to and set up your table of contents and also turn to the next clean page in your composition book. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about powers of 10. Before we can multiply, we have to know what we're doing as far as when I ask you to multiply 7 times 10, I mean, you know, you have to know what to do, right? Okay, so we're going to be multiplying, and I should have already done this because I asked you to do it, right? There's no pausing for me, though, so I just got to go ahead and do it. I guess I could pause. Multiplying by powers of 10. Okay, so if I asked you to multiply 6 times 4, that's pretty easy, right? 6 times 4 is 24. All right, so if I asked you, Mrs. Anglade, Mrs. Golata, okay, bloopers, there can be bloopers on here, okay. If I asked you, Mrs. Golata, how to multiply 6 times 40, what would you say?
I would say it's 240.
How do you find 240? I don't get that.
I do 6 times 4 is 24, and then I add a 0.
Wait a minute. You just said 6 times 4 is 24, and then I add a 0. That still gives me 24, Mrs. Golata.
Oh, well, that's how I've always done it. It's always been 6 times 4 equals 24, and then I add a 0.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I only get 24 over here.
Well,
What do you
maybe
think?
a 0 at the
What
end.
do you think 6 times 400 is?
That's, you would go 2400, because I did 6 times 4 equals 24 plus 2 zeros.
Wait a minute. Adding 2 zeros still gets me 24.
Well, it's always made sense to me before.
All right, so maybe we're doing something else besides just adding zeros on the end. Maybe we should talk about why we add a 0 on the end. Okay,
That's
all
a good
right.
idea.
So, but it looks like we're doing a pattern, most definitely. So if I wanted to know 6 times 4,000, I bet I'm going to take 6 times 4,
Yes.
24, and then like add 3 zeros to
Yes.
the end. That's a pattern. Okay, all right. Let's see what's really happening. Okay, so you agree. Let's see if we can talk through this. 6 times 40. If I'm going to break down 40, what would it be?
It would be,
Like I want it times, is there a 10 in there? Is
Yes,
40 a
it'd be-
multiple of
it
10?
would be 4
Okay.
and then 10.
So really, I think what you're doing is you're multiplying 6 times 4.
Oh, yes, I am. 6
And
times 4 is
Then what are
24.
you doing?
Oh, and then I'm multiplying times 10.
Oh, so is that maybe where you're adding a 0 to the
Right.
end?
I'm doing the shortcut.
But this is why. This is
Yes,
why the shortcut works.
I didn't know that that's what I was doing, but I've always heard the shortcut.
All right. Well, oh, you know what? That's a mistake. Let's erase that. So let's see what's happening with 6 times 400. Okay, so it's 6 times 4, what you told me before, right? 6 times 4. What is 400, though? 400 is 4...
Times 100.
Okay. Oh, there's those 2 zeros.
Oh, yeah.
There's those 2 zeros. So 6 times 4 is that 24 that you said. Wait a minute. Oop, this pen is not working. Times 100. If I have 24 groups of 100, that goes back to place value.
Right. So
That goes back to my place value cups, right?
Right.
If I have 24 groups of 100,
That'd be 2,400.
I have 2,400s, don't I? 2,400. That's where the adding 2 zeros comes from,
Yes.
is multiplying by the 100. I'm going to give you a hard one, and I'm going to see if you can do
So
it.
the parentheses are what I'm supposed to do first.
Yeah,
But
because
we
you
can
kind of...
switch the parentheses around, and we still get the same number.
Yeah, you know that's called, that's a property. It's called the associative property.
Oh, okay.
We don't talk about properties much in class
No, we
anymore,
don't.
do we? But we still use them. I'm really sorry, guys. My pen is just not charged, I guess, the way it should be. Associative property. It's because right now we had 4 times 100. That was the
Right.
400. But now we're just going to group them together differently.
Yeah, it still works.
Yeah, and that's what associative property says. We're just going to do the grouping different. Okay, I'm going to give you a hard one. You ready?
Yes.
What if I gave you 6 times 4, 60 times 400?
Oh. Well, that would be like saying 6 times 10
Oh, okay. Whoops.
and times 4 times 100. Then I
Can I
do-
still take 6 times 4?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. We could do 6
Okay.
times 4, and then we need to do 10 times 100.
I can't do that. I don't know what that is. I know 6 times 4.
24. Well, if we had 100 groups of 10, or 10 groups of 100,
So if I have 10 $100 bills in my hand,
I know what it is.
100, 200, I bet it's 1,000. Ah, yay! Okay, it's 1,000. I think I can do that whole add 2 zeros to the back or whatever.
Right.
So 24 groups of 1,000, that's like place value, right? 24 groups of 1,000, that looks like it's 24,000.
24,000.
Should we have, out in La La Land, the World Wide Web out there, should we have them do some examples?
Yes,
and
let's
see
have them
if
do
they
a few
can
examples.
All right. You guys ready? Mrs. Anglade and Mrs. Golata, I think we understand it.
I understand it.
You want to, should we have them try?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll start them off easy. How about that?
Yeah.
What is 5 times, you think 300 is good?
I think that's good.
Okay. All right. So we'll give them a few problems, have them
Yeah.
pause it and see if they can do it. I'm going to throw in a tricky one now, okay? Okay, now remember.
I was thinking.
Let's
see if they can come up
I'll
with
give you a clue. It's not going to have 2 zeros in the answer.
That's gonna be very tricky.
Careful. All right, should we have them do one more?
Yeah.
You give me a problem.
Let's do 7 times, whoops,
Let me erase that a little bit. There we go.
let's do 7 times, 40.
That's a pretty easy one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to hit pause, and I want you to go through each of these problems. And while you're doing those and you've hit pause, I'm going to come back in a minute, and I am going to give you these answers. Okay?
Make sure you write them down in your
Write them
composition books,
down and
so
do
we can
them.
look at them.
All right? All right, we'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, we're back with the answers. I hope the second problem did not cause you problems. Let's kind of take a look at what happened. Hopefully you were able to get this. Over here on the side, I kind of wrote out what it was. Just like Mrs. Golata told us, I'm going to take 5 times 3, and the reason we can add 2 zeros back there, remember, is because we're multiplying by 100, right? And so 15 groups of 100 is 1,500. But let's take a look at that second one. Did I catch you? Hopefully you didn't follow that rule. I hope that you, because here's what some kids do. They take and think that there's only 2 zeros in the answer. They put down like 200 because they think, oh, well, my answer is 5 times 4 is 20, but they think that only 2 zeros need to be in the answer, so they will get the wrong answer. So over here, I wrote out what's happening, right? We take 5 times 40, or 5 times 4, which is 20, but then we have 10 times 10.
That's
Which is 100. So we have 20 groups of 100. 20 groups of 100 isn't
It's not
200, is it?
200.
Nope.
That would be 2.
Yep. 20 groups of 100 is really 2,000. Yep. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful not to just follow that rule. Think about what's going on, okay? All right. And then Mrs.
I gave an
Golata's.
easy one.
Yeah, it was. It was a really easy one to follow with. So it's just 7 times 4, and then it's times 10, right? Okay. So guys, in the next few lessons, Thursday and Friday's lesson is going to be a lot of doing this, multiplying by powers of 10. So you really need to know how to do this. That's why we have this lesson, right? Because the next lessons that we have in the next few days is really going to have to make sure that they know how to do this. So when you come into class tomorrow, you're going to have an activity, you're going to have an assignment that you're going to know how to do this. So if you didn't quite get it now, you're going to work on it in class tomorrow. Do you have anything else to say, Mrs. Golata? I
Nope.
think that's about it. I stayed under 10 minutes today. I'm pretty
pretty good.
excited.
I think it's 'cause
I'm
I'm
pretty
here.
excited. It probably is, because I don't yammer on. Okay, anyway, all right, so you're good. You don't have anything else to do? You're good? We are going to see you tomorrow in class. And I can't. Ah! Sorry, guys. You know, this is how we had to end it. My pen is seriously dying. I just can't even get to the pause. There we go. All right, we are done.